Keybiscaynestories collects the history of our beautiful island. This is your host, Alejandro Cervalli, and I am a certified key rat for many, many years and counting. With this podcast, we will share the stories of our residents and their love for this slice of paradise we call home. So stay tuned, relax, and enjoy these great Key Biscayne stories. Key Biscayneers, Key Rats, welcome to another episode of Key Biscayne Stories. Today's guest, we have Sebastian Goycoolea, CEO at BluGlacier. BluGlacier imports Chilean salmon into the U.S. Salmon is one of my favorite, well, probably the only favorite fish. Sebastian, his family, and their dog, Sir Hugo, live here in our beautiful key. Sebastian will share with us his KB story. We will learn a bit about the salmon industry and how he brings Chilean salmon to businesses and customers alike. What I am most excited about today's episode is that Sebastian will share with us the new addition to his company, which is Oshen Salmon. They deliver salmon straight to your door. In fact, ordering from Oshen will bring salmon 1 week sooner, so 1 week fresher than it would be if you were to pick it up at the store. Remember to support the podcast by subscribing and signing up to our newsletter, information in the show notes. Sebastian, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us today. How are you?
Very good. And thank you, Alejandro, for inviting me to have this conversation and being able to telling you a little bit more about what we do and the industry that I am involved. So yeah, I'm doing very well.
Here in Key Biscayne Stories, we like to ask our guests, what is their favorite part of Key Biscayne? What is your favorite part of Key Biscayne?
Well, it's hard to tell you only one. I actually love Key Biscayne. I am living in there since day one. We moved in January 2015 to live in Key Biscayne. It was mainly because a couple of friends were living there and they recommend us to move into Key Biscayne when we moved to the US. But afterwards, we realized how beautiful this island is. I had the privilege to live for a couple of years in front of the beach in a nice apartment. I think the views are spectacular. I like that everything is walkable around. We have a big group of friends. It's also pretty Latin. So for people coming from South America, it's a very friendly place to live. It's extremely safe. You have everything you need. You have good restaurants, you have supermarket, you have pharmacies. I love the ocean. I love walking in the park. I love do some sports on the different parks. So also we have a little boat, so we usually go around the island, spend some time. I think the views are spectacular. I love Key Biscayne.
So if you could describe to me a good day or weekend for you, or like an afternoon in KB, what would that be? After a long day of work, you look forward to the weekend. What are those activities that you would do?
Well, on the weekdays, I normally take a walk around the park. I have now a beautiful dog that love to go out and have some walks around. And over the weekend,
I saw you at the fresh market last weekend with the dog, Sir Hugo, right? That's the name of the dog?
yeah, yeah, exactly. So, well, I live pretty close to Hugo. Yeah, I live in front of the fresh market that I loved. The fresh market. I love this local thing that is there. I think people do a great job selling spectacular product from fruit, guacamole, everything in there. I love the market. And over the weekends, we spend a lot of time with friends doing barbecues, or we go to the park now. This new bar on No Name Harbor, I think it's really, really nice to see the sunsets from there. Um, and I said, going around in a boat is really nice. So there's many things to do in the island, or going to any of the good restaurants around. You have many options. So normally, I do not leave the island to go for dinner with my wife and family because everything is good and close, and you can walk on or have a short drive in the island.
I know that we're here to talk about BluGlacier and Oshen Salmon, but before we do that, let's get to know you a little bit. Where are you from?
Well, I am originally from Chile, South America. I moved into the States in 2015 into Miami, where we have our offices and our commercial operation that we start in 2012. with a very small office with 2 person in Weston. And now we have been growing over the years. We are more than 25 person now in the office in the States. So yeah, so we started this operation in 2012 as a distribution and sales office for the salmon we produce in Chile. It started as Blumar in 2012, and in 2015 we invite another salmon producer from Chile called Ventisqueros, and we create BluGlacier. For explaining the name, blue is coming from Blumar, and glacier is the translation of a Ventisqueros. That is a big piece of ice holding from the rocks. That's a Ventisquero, so that's why we create BluGlacier. Um, this company is fully focused and dedicated to sell and distribute Atlantic salmon that is coming from Chile. In the past, when I was in Chile, I used to be always involved on the commercial side of the company. I was in charge of the sales of the salmon to all the rest of the world except the US. This is a product that we produce all year round, and we export fresh and frozen all over the world. US, it is our main market. We normally sell about 50% of what we produce into United States. To start putting some context and numbers around, our company today import and sell in the state about 55 to 60 million pounds of salmon per year. Where, yes,
60 to 65 million pounds.
yes, it's big number. That's only represent about 10 to 12% of the whole salmon volume that is coming from Chile every year. About 55 to 60% of this Atlantic salmon that is consumed in United States, it is coming from Chile. Then another percentage, about 20-25%, is coming from Canada, and the rest from Europe. So definitely Chile is the largest and most important supplier of Atlantic salmon for United States.
So you represent 10% of the total consumption of salmon in the United States?
No, we represent about 10% of the Chilean volume that is coming into United States. That is 60%. Yeah. So it's about 6% of the US consumption of Atlantic salmon.
So out of 60% of the salmon consumption in the United States, you guys represent 10% of that 60.
Yeah, a little bit more than 10 is, I would say, 12 to 12%. Yeah, but it's around there. And this product is mostly fresh. About 70% of the volume that is coming from Chile is fresh. So we harvest this fish in the south of Chile, that probably is around 9 to 10,000 miles from Miami. Then it's processed and is trucked to the Santiago's airport in the capital. That is about, well, depending from where you take it, but it's about an overnight trucking. And then we fly this product by plane every day. The main airports are Miami and LA. We also fly some to New York, Houston, basically to every airport that we have flights coming from Chile or from other countries in South America are full of salmon. So every time you see a plane landing in Miami, beside the passenger and the luggage, you have salmon on the belly of the plane. The next time you are in a flight from South America, because also a lot of fish is flight from Chile to Sao Paulo, to Lima, to Bogota, to then connect with other flights coming in United States. And also there's a lot of cargo flights coming from Chile full of salmon with no passengers. So there's a big industry around that. Today, maybe between 6 to 10 million pounds of salmon are flying weekly to United States from Chile. And then this product is tracked and distributed all over the country, even up to Canada from here. So it's a very perfect logistic chain due to the short shell life that the salmon has. So as soon as it land here, we prepare the orders the day after for our customer, and then it's distributed in different trucks up to New York, Chicago, Boston, Texas, all over the country. And then we also fly a lot of product into LA, and we have the same kind of operation where we receive the product in LA and it's distributed through the West Coast.
When we spoke before, you mentioned that there was a part of the process that happens here. Do you harvest the whole fish and you bring it here, or how does that work?
Well, today, most of the product came in the States already ready to go to the stores. So it's fillet without bones, without skin. And we started a couple of years ago a small processing operation in our warehouse in Miami, where we are able to take product, cut it in a specific sizes, portions, or remove the skin, or pack for retailers where we can pack, we can put it on trays, we can add the price and everything for the different customers. We are also growing this operation to probably go a little bit further down in the process where we can bring product with the bones in and remove the bones in the States, or in some cases also to bring some whole fish and do the whole process in the country. So we have this ability, and we can split the fish and remove the bones and remove the skin and do some customized products, some value added for the different customers.
You guys do business to business, right? But there's also a part of your business that is business to customer, right? Directly to the customer.
Yes, yes. So we basically, the biggest part of our business is to supply big chains of retail or restaurant chains or restaurant distributors, smokers, where we sell tons of salmon at the time. So we supply chains as Costco, Kroger's, Walmart, Publix, and some other chains all over the country. As also we supply salmon to Applebee's or Blooming Brand restaurants and other chains. So that's our core business. With the COVID hitting the world and changing a little bit the habits of consumption of people, and with more people staying at home and also taking the risk to cook at home, I would say more than 50% of the US budget for food was spent on restaurants, and that changed dramatically with the COVID. So people has time, they're at home, they start exploring and buying. The volume of salmon sold in retail grew like 30% after COVID. So it demonstrated that people was willing to buy more and move from restaurant to their house and start cooking more. We saw, well, how we can get closer to the customer. People is buying more online, is taking the risk. Distribution is pretty well developed in this country. And we start exploring the adventure of having a product with a brand that we can deliver directly to the consumer's house. So we create Oshen Salmon, that is a platform where you can go in and you have 3 different items that you can buy online, and we deliver twice a week to your house. What's the biggest value proposition there? That we short the time between our hands and your house. So the salmon is at least 1 week fresher than in any retailer store in United States. So you can buy a small box with 4 portions of salmon inside. That's for a small family. If you have a larger family, you can buy a box with 2 fillets with 5 pounds of salmon, fresh salmon on it. Or also we have a frozen version where you can buy a box with 12 6-ounces portion of salmon, skinless, and you just take it out of the fridge and you can cook it anytime. So it's been a very interesting adventure. We also have the possibility to start talking and getting information from the customers. So it's been very interesting. We are coming from a business where volumes and commodities and our mindset. So it's been super exciting to get into there and see how people react to the name, to the product, and exploring this area.
What about people reacting to your design? I mean, it looks great. I'm looking at your website for those that are not watching. The website is fantastic. It looks great. The logo, the box, the overall design is very well done, very professional.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we have invested a lot of money and time. We opened 2 years ago a marketing department in the company, so we have a very high professional marketing director and a marketing assistant. And we've been working with pretty big agencies to develop the brand, the name. We did all the pictures that you see on our website for Ocean are our own pictures. We did the photo shooting in New York with fancy models and very fancy agencies and everything. So as we are taking seriously. We think that it's part of the respect to our customer that we have to do it right. All the packaging development also was doing internally with 100% recyclable thing. So the isolation is recyclable, the box is recyclable, the package of the salmon is recyclable, because we understand that also, yeah, you get today a lot of packages in your house. So if you cannot responsibly get rid of the packaging, it is a big thing. We are also exploring always new technologies of packaging of everything that make easy. We need packaging. Is a very perishable product, very sensible to temperature. So to be able to get you in a safe mode to your house, we have to have a big package. But everything is 100% recyclable.
I like this. You have a bunch of recipe recommendations, and you can order directly from the website. And 10% off if you sign up to receive emails.
Yep, you have 10% off. We also have the option of make a subscription, so you can decide if you want it once a month, or every second week, or every week. Um, so yeah, you put the order, and we deliver twice a week because we wanted to make sure that the fresher product we have landing in the country is used to prepare this product. So we get orders until, I would say, Mondays 5 p.m. We do a cut. We prepare on Saturday, and you have it. Sorry, on we prepare it on Tuesday, and you have Wednesday in your house, or you have Friday in your house. So we take the fresher product arriving here to prepare this ocean salmon. So it's safe to eat it as you want it: ceviche, sashimi, or put it on the oven, on the grill, on the barbecue. Or you can even take it and freeze it. If you don't use it, it's safe to freeze it and keep it for 6 months on your freezer without any problem.
So, what is good salmon? Is there a way or to tell? What do you recommend?
Well, that's a very interesting question, but definitely a good piece of salmon has to be. You can see that the supermarket that it has to be shiny, humid. Fresh salmon, it really doesn't have a fishy smell. So if it's too fishy, maybe it's a little bit too old. I would recommend Atlantic salmon has a very meal smell. Actually, when it's super fresh, it smells like watermelon more than fish. It's a very characteristic smell. Probably hard to find it in a retail store. You have to understand that the logistic is pretty long. But if you take a super fresh piece of ocean, for example, it maybe when I smell a little bit of watermelon. But also, if you have the possibility that normally on retail store you cannot do it, but if you have the ability to touch the salmon and you see that it bounce back when you push the meat, it means that it's still pretty fresh. And but in general, I have to tell you that most of the retailers in the States are super responsible with the freshness of their products. On seafood, you have to take it seriously because it's still risky if somebody eat a rotten piece of salmon. So on the logistic chain, is super developed. This is a product that lands in the US 365 days a year. So there's a whole industry dedicated to move the salmon on time to the different selling points in restaurants or retail stores. It's not a seasonal stuff, it's all year round. So it's pretty well developed. And so I think I have to tell you, I never experienced to see a really bad piece of salmon in a retail store. So, and then when you take it home, try not to park in 25 places before you go home in a summer in Miami at 150 degrees inside your car. Normally try to take it as soon as possible to the fridge. But as I said, I am a salmon fanatic. I normally eat it raw. That maybe I should not recommend it because there's some risk involved that people know. But yeah, I think that in general the chain is pretty well controlled for eating everywhere. So that's how to physically found if the salmon is good or not. But also I wanted to add that it's probably one of the best protein that you can eat today. Has an excellent content of protein, the content of omega-3 that is super demonstrated that is good for your heart. So the Heart Association recommend to eat at least 2 or 3 times a week, 6 to 8 ounces of salmon. So you will have positive benefits on your heart. It's going to help you cleaning your cholesterol and keeping your pipes smooth for the blood flow. And also is an excellent, it tastes very good. It's super easy to cook. People think that cooking seafood is hard, but I can tell you, I cook salmon on the microwave in my office. Take a piece of fresh salmon, put it 2 minutes with salt and pepper, and it's gonna come out perfect. Don't get complicated. If you want to cook more sophisticated, you can do it in the barbecue, you can put it in the oven, you can smoke at home, you can do sashimi. But if you are afraid, just take a piece of salmon, cut a portion, put some olive oil, salt, pepper, put it in the microwave 2 minutes, and then call me. It's going to be perfect. The only thing is try not to overcook. So if you do it in the oven, try not to exceed 14, 15 minutes inside the oven. It's going to be juicy and perfect.
14 to 15 minutes in the oven. At what temperature?
Yeah, 350 degrees. Some people like it more raw, more like English style. That is 10 to 12 minutes, or 14, 15 is going to be medium, and it's going to be perfect. You don't need anything else.
Awesome. This is great. I know that we're running out of time, and I have one more question for you. What is your favorite part of all this industry?
Well, I've been always involved into the food industry, and I think for me I am a foodie person, and I love to know that I'm part of this chain that brings, in this case, maybe the best protein that people can eat. So for me, it's a passion. It's the logistic involved and all the effort that is thousands of people doing for bringing this product is very passionate. How the salmon industry, after copper, that is the main economic activity in Chile, is probably the largest single industry in the country. So how our industry have changed lives people in the south of Chile is amazing. It's the relation we have, the communities, and the quality of the job we are able to provide to the workers in Chile is super good. So I'm proud to be part of this industry. Is what I study in college. I am an aquaculture engineer. I'm supposed to be more involved in the farming side in Chile more than the commercial side, but I love this opportunity to move into this side. I like talking to people and visiting customers and presenting my product. So that's why I moved to this side, but it's a super exciting industry.
Thank you, Sebastian, for joining us and sharing your story and teaching us about Oshen Salmon and BluGlacier.
Thank you, Alejandro, for inviting me here. And again, I invite everybody to try a piece of salmon.